If you can follow these three steps, I guarantee you by the end of this bull run that we're playing for in 2025, you're going to have a kick-ass portfolio. And in this video, I want to break down three super simple steps to show you if I was starting a portfolio today. And that might be hard to believe because, I feel like it was yesterday that we should have been starting a cryptocurrency portfolio, let alone in 2025, especially as the market is starting to pump. But I know people are still on the fence about investing in cryptocurrency. So this is going to be your go-to video. I'm going to go over three main points that are super simple to get you started investing in crypto. And this is exactly, literally what I would do if I had to invest today. And this is exactly how I'd play this strategy to hit the first $100,000. Because I know everybody wants to get that six-figure portfolio mark. And I promise you it is very attainable if you know how to get started. Because everybody has the potential to hit $100,000. Even if you're just getting started out with a couple of $1,000s. Now, it all depends how risky you want to be, and we're going to talk about that with specific coins and market caps, etc. But if you have a couple of $100s, I'm just going to be real with you, this strategy is not going to work. You have an income problem, and you need to get that taken care of, because I don't just want to list some pre-sale coin that could potentially get you rich or wipe you out if you literally have $200-300. But if you write up some low cap meme coins, AI, RWA, we're spoiled for choice. It definitely can be done. But of course, there is high risk there. So I'm going to give you three strategies. That's my goal in this video for you to hit six-figure mark and really just to get you started. And there's one main problem. And I made this video, and this is how funny this is, made the exact same video 2023, and nobody seemed to care about it. And here is the reality. If you listen to this, I remember saying this vividly, and I thought, I can use this in 2025, and here we are. So if I turn this up, pay attention. What you will do, if you're still sitting on the sidelines, unfortunately, for some of you guys out there, you'll start buying when Bitcoin is honestly 80, 90, 100 grand. Isn't that funny? Because that's where we are right now. And the same people, and I just know this for a fact, 2023, I do this right now, April 12th, we're pretty much 2 years from today. And if we go back to this video, I find it so funny, but so obviously annoying for the guys that have stayed on the fence. You go back here, this is the same video, Bitcoin was 30K. BNB was 300, XRP was 50 cents, ADA was 40 cents, Dogecoin was 0.08, and Solana was 22. And as we know, Bitcoin right now is 94. The interesting one with Ethereum is actually less in price than what it was 2 years ago. So this could be a sleeper, and this is why maybe Ethereum might be a good bet. Even with the high market cap, you look at BNB's doubled, you look at XRP's, whatever that is, 6x, ADA's doubled. Dogecoin has done whatever X that is. Polygon Matic, no, I know it did have a previous chain, etc., but Polygon Matic has went to shit, although it is still alive in terms of market cap. And Solana is obviously, it's had a 10x since this price. It's right now 150. But it's just funny how all of the coins have went crazy. And then you look at coins like HBAR when nobody was interested in me when I started to DCN. This again was 6 cents, and now we're at 19. We were at 40 cents. And then you look at Render. And it's just funny how I have to make this video, and this is not to say to anybody that this bull run's over. You should have been buying in 2023, and you should have fucking been buying in 23, 24, and obviously that dip that we had 3 or 4 weeks ago. But if I can make this video to get you started on your journey, that is why I'm here. So I want to give you a quote real quick. A man who chooses inaction digs his own grave, and it's one day wasted at a time. And what I really mean by that is I've been blasting on about crypto heavily, you can see there in 2023, right? So 2+ years now, I've been talking about crypto. I've been talking a lot longer than that, but 2 years is basically when I really started to hit this YouTube channel seriously. So 2 years straight of trying to rectify my mistakes, my own personal mistake on losing everything on my first bull run in 2021's run, even after I made $950,000 and riding it all the way back down. But there's been many people still to this day on saying, yeah, I'm going to get in, or I'll wait till the market's it's a little bit too fearful right now. I'll wait for a better time to deploy. For 2 years, fucking straight. And those guys never get in, or what they do is they buy the peaks of 2025, like they bought the peaks of 2021. And they're going to keep making this mistake. So what you must do right now, and I want you to take this is your first action step. Pause this video right now. Open up a new tab. Download any exchange. You've probably done that for. You've probably got a Coinbase. You've probably got a Kraken, whatever it is. And buy something right now. Even if it's $100 worth in Ethereum, that might be a better bet because, again, Ethereum was higher in price 2 years ago. And what I would do, and what that will do, should I say, is that's going to open the door and get you in the game of cryptocurrency. It's like going to the gym, for example, for the first time. You're scared, you're anxious, you feel out of place, you're thinking, oh, what if this guy judges me? What if this girl looks at me wrong? but you just work out for 10 to 20 minutes and then you leave. And what that does do is it starts to build a routine and it forces you to keep going. And then you're like, okay, well, this is nice. What else is there to offer? Maybe I should do an extra set here. Maybe I should start running on the treadmill. And that's what happened to me in 2020 when we take this back to cryptocurrency. You buy a little bit of Bitcoin, you buy a little bit of Ethereum, and then you scale down the line and you start to go, well, what's XRP? What's Solana? What the hell is Dogecoin? And then we can go on their website, maybe you go down their Twitter, and slowly but surely, you start to get the clock spinning in your head, just like you start to hit full workouts, just like you start to build the body of your dreams, just like you start to invest here, and start to understand the game. It's not going to be deploying everything at once because you can get very scared because it's real money we're talking about. But that is so important that you start, and you should have started in 2023. But if you're thinking about starting today, don't leave it for another 6 months till we're at the peak of 2025 because you will lose all your money. Because if you don't do this, here's what the other side of the story looks like. Any sort of action, you're constantly going to go overthink. Again with the gym, you're sitting in that car park, you're ready to go in, and you're like, nah, again and again. And 6 months down the line, you're still in the same spot of just pulling up to the car park and doing fucking nothing. You have to force yourself to go in to buy cryptocurrency. It's going to be super uncomfortable. It will feel super scary to bring on any amount of money, $100 from your bank account to Coinbase to Kraken with your hard paying job that you've worked so hard for and putting it in and buying your first coin. Because you're going to be worrying about if you lose it, right? I get it. But you know what's worse? This is worse. Okay, being in that 9 to 5 that you probably fucking hate, or why else would you be watching cryptocurrency, right? Taking your lunch break at the exact same time, every day at 11 a.m. and eating at your shit desk and going for a coffee break and seeing the same people over and over again, and you work like a robot, waiting for that 5 o'clock p.m. on that clock so you can breathe for a few hours before going back to bed to do it all over again tomorrow. But not just tomorrow, for the next week, for the next month, for the next year, for the next 40 years of your life. That's reality if you don't start some sort of journey, because there's no other investment that can give you returns like crypto. Yes, you can save yourself for the next 40 years in the stock market, and that's fine. But if you want to take this seriously, you're watching cryptocurrency videos for a reason. And that fucking shit scared me more than taking no action. So if you don't take action, like you should have been doing in 23 and 24, and today, in the last couple of months, maybe you just don't want it bad enough, right? Because this is literally you right now. Found this tweet, super funny, but also not. Thomas Randolph. Bitcoin is just stabilized at almost $14 a coin. I'm tired of waiting for my jump, so I'm taking the loss and getting the cash back. And this will be you at the peak of 25. You're going to be forced to buy the tops and you won't be able to take it anymore and you will lose. No coiners waiting for a pullback and you're still waiting. Fucking buy something today, regardless if it goes down in price in the next hour, the next week, or the next month. If you buy solid coins, you will make money as long as you take profits. I guarantee you that. Because again, all the guys that said they would deploy at the big dip, guess what? We had it. We had it on the 7th of April. Everybody was like, oh, buy Bitcoin when it's under $80,000 levels. It's just too high right now. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for a good DSA price. And guess what? 3 weeks ago, we had those levels. You look at Solana. Solana's too expensive right now. Anything under $110, I'll be all in. Where were you at $96, bro? That's where we were at 3 weeks ago. Not 3 years ago, 3 weeks ago. Sui's a great coin. Market cap compared to Solana. I believe in it. I'm waiting for this at sub $2. Where were you at 170? Same with Render, a top AI coin. Okay, I'm ready to deploy this. It's a little bit high right now at $3.79. I'll buy this under $3. And where were you at $2.70? And then you can even look at Brett, one of the coins that's done super, super well for me in the last 1 year, my DeFi liquidity pool. In the last 7 days, it's up 92%. And again, this is a more riskier one, but it's just the same scenario over and over again. And again, I always compare this to the CMC, the CoinMarketCap Crypto and Fear Index. You have to learn to buy blood in the streets or you're playing cryptocurrency wrong. Because remember, we were at levels of under 20 for so long, and that's when you should have been buying. Yes, it's very fucking hard to do that, but you have to think these are prices where you can completely change your life for the dollar value you bring in. Remember this, I made this on that April 7th, and I seen the drops on Solana, Ethereum, and Render, and this was the easiest money I made. When I woke up on Monday, I think it was, and I looked at the prices, and then I looked at the CoinMarketCap, what I just showed you there, the Fear and Greed Index of sub 20, and this is how you make the buys. I sent this to my dad, and he was like, risky, and I was like, no risk, no story. And I've made over 5 figures in these trades. Absolute crazy, but it was just an opportunity. If you buy green when everybody's happy and friends, you will lose. I want you to be on the winning side, brother. I'm not making this video to spite anybody and saying, ha ha ha, you never got in. I'm making this video for you to actually take this thing seriously, because you're here for a reason. You're not just shopping around. You need to start going in the shop and buying some stuff, or you're never ever going to make it. Now, my second hack, if you look at my personal portfolio, my spot buys, is understand coins and don't have too many. Now, this is a controversial point because I know there's some guys out there that only have Bitcoin and Ethereum, and there's the guys that have over 50. I believe in the 10 to 15 coins maximum, and now that is outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, currently, I roughly have about 14 coins in my spot positions, but I've actually got probably 19, 20, 21. And to be honest, I used to say in that video I showed you in 2023, when I made this video about buying cryptocurrency, it's going to change your life, but nobody seemed to listen except from the hard guys that were here to actually print this bull cycle. I actually said in that video 8 to 10. But I will admit, it's especially hard, right? There's new coins and new categories. We've got AI, we've got even new categories, AI agents, RWA and Deepin, and all the memes we've had. So yes, you can go outside of this, but if I'm being honest, if you're one of those guys that have 50 plus altcoins, it's just super hard to manage. I would really think about condensing it, in my opinion. I'm not going to tell you to sell your coins, but I would just really think about that because it just gets very hard to manage. Because again, you can buy the same coin. If you look at Solana here, the same coin, you get a completely different outcome. All the guys that got super early on Solana in 2021's bull run, they made all the money as long as they sold. And then the guys buying the same coin at the peaks, they lost all the money. The same thing again in 22 and 23 and even 2024, towards the start of it, all the money was made. And again, I still think Solana is going to run because we are still early in this cycle, or earlier than we should be by the peaks. But again, you can buy the same coin and get a completely different outcome. Now, number 3, I can look at ADA here as an example. It's don't be emotional on both sides. This one is super simple, but nobody seems to do it. And I had to learn this the hard way in 2021's bull run. When I say don't be emotional, meaning basically take your profits. You can go from 10K and you can 10X that on some safe coins. E.g. that 10X, you hit 6-figure, dudes. Crazy. You can hit your goals if that is your goals. Now, you're not going to be rich with 100K, but you can breathe, and it's a lot of money that you can probably say F you to your boss for a few years. And I think that's very wholesome, and that is why cryptocurrency, and really I decided to do this in my journey as my main asset class, because if you can do that, it can buy you a lot of time, because many of us were greedy in 2021 and we didn't do this. We wanted more and we never took profits and we round tripped it, right? I know a lot of people that are going to do it in this bull run, and I don't want that to be you, because we did so well. We just couldn't handle greed, right? If we do a 10X and we get to $1 million, like I pretty much did, we're almost like, well, it's only a 2 to 3X to 2 to 3 million. I've already done a 10X. Easy, right? Bitcoin has to go to 100K in 2021. Well, no, we round tripped it. And also, don't go all in one coin. Just as you know, Luna, Mantra, there's so many rugs on solid projects that were solid until they weren't. And it goes back into step 1 and step 2. Understanding the coins you're in, and don't go too spread and buy 50 plus coins. Because if you want guaranteed returns, yeah, just buy Bitcoin. But understand you're going to need a lot of money to make any sort of money to hit your goals. Now, those are my 3 main points if I was just starting in crypto today in 2025. And remember, guys, I want you to win. I want you to be ahead. You can do this. So good luck in your journey and take care. Peace, and I'll see you later.